Welcome to iHeart Cooking. I'm registered dietitian Jennifer Stachler.
And I'm Chef Dugan Wetzel.
We are the hosts of iHeart Cooking, which is a program by the Reid Health Community Benefits, WCTV, and we are out in ELstro Plaza in downtown Richmond today. Today on this episode, we're going to be talking about heart-healthy side dishes. Episode, we're going to be talking about heart-healthy side dishes. And since we're outside at lovely ELstro Plaza here in downtown Richmond, we're going to be utilizing the grill today. We're going to be making a vegetable foil pack, and we're also going to make a black bean
salad
with vegetables, and it's going to be cold, so it's something you don't need a lot of room to prep. You don't need a lot of heating source besides a grill. Something quick and easy, nice, easy cleanup as well, which we love.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get started with this vegetable foil pack, and man, do we have all these lovely vegetables here.
Absolutely. Zucchinis, squash, we're doing a regular sweet corn, Roma tomatoes, red peppers, there's some garlic, fresh herbs. Yeah, we're really going to hit it all today. So we'll go ahead and get started. Just get our foil. We said this in a previous cooking class. We are using a lighter duty foil. So instead of just putting one piece down, like you would with a heavy duty foil, go ahead and put a second one down, because you're gonna put this on the grill. You can see here, it's fairly white in the middle, so that's pretty hot. It's a charcoal grill, so you can't really adjust that temperature. You wanna keep it off to the side, but having that second layer of foil acts as kind of a buffer. You're not gonna overheat it, it's not gonna tear. The vegetables will be safe inside there. Going to start with yellow squash. You can do this two different ways. Cut the end off here, and you can keep them in circles, just real easy. Again, you can keep them thick, you can cut them thin, whatever your preference is. The thinner they are, obviously the faster that it's going to cook. So if you're going to cut them thin, be mindful of that when you're cooking it. You don't want to use the rest of your vegetables as thick pieces, because these will turn to mush and you're not really going to get that squash. So thicker's probably safer here, just because it allows it to cook a little bit, and these will still retain their shape and their texture. So what we're going to do here, that's one way to do it. The other way to cut this other end off, do half moons. Just slice it in half like so. You can see here, very easy. It's got a nice flat surface to work with. The reason you would do this is for your larger yellow squash, the ends, they can get pretty big. That takes up a lot of space in your foil pack. So if you just cut them in half, and that, cuts it down. So you easily create more room for other vegetables in
and
here.
It's easier to eat as well, especially like today. We're going to take this off the grill and we're just going to dig into it. We're not going to use a lot of plates. We're outside, so that's something that if you got a fork full of this, it's going to be hard to eat that.
Very
Where
tough.
this is going to be nice and a little bit easier for you to eat.
So we have our yellow squash. Going to do this with our zucchini. Same thing. Cut the ends off. Going to go a little thicker, just because we want it to cook. We want it to be heated all the way through. Just add those right in.
Nice thing about squashes, they're very low in calories, very low in carbohydrates. It's something that if you're looking at a side dish that's not going to offer a lot of extra carbs, calories, because of some of the other things you're making it, this is one that the squash, both zucchini and yellow squash, and then we're going to add tomatoes, which are very low in those as well.
Red pepper. You can do this a couple different ways. You can cut them into strips, you can cut them into wedges, you can keep them, fairly full, flat pieces. That's the way we're going to show you today. Kind of keep it on its, vertical here, and just find right there at the top and slice straight down. What that is going to do is take that pith right off of the pepper. There's no seeds in there. Everything's ready to go. You can cut it maybe one more time right in the middle, put it right in your foil pack. Very simple, very easy, very clean way of doing it. So just right on top there. Then you just turn it. You find another flat piece, do the same thing. Slide right through. Do it again.
The nice thing about peppers as well is they're very, like I mentioned with zucchini, the tomatoes, the yellow squash, it's all very low in calories and carbs.
Oh yeah.
And all have different textures, which works great to kind of blend it together.
And by cutting that, if anybody's cut peppers at home, you know that the seeds can get in the way and be a really big mess. Everything's contained. There's no issues whatsoever. Easy cleanup. There's nothing on the board, so when you cut your tomatoes, when you put your corn in there, they're not going to leach on to it and go right into your foil pack. So move on to our next ones here. We're going to use Roma tomatoes. Nice meaty tomato, wonderful for things like this. Just really simple. You can take the top, actually have a gadget here, little cores. These little simple cores, you just go right there in the top, slide it around, and pop it out. What that does is make the entire tomato edible. So you're not throwing anything away, you're just cutting it up, putting it straight in there, really fast. Just gonna wedge it.
The other nice thing, I tend to make a lot of vegetable packs when I'm at home grilling. Great side dish when I'm grilling some type of meat, quick and easy. I have a lot of grape and cherry tomatoes at home. Great to just pluck those out of the garden, add those straight in there.
Absolutely.
One thing some individuals might not like about that is when you take a pop of that and put it in your mouth, it like pops open and releases the juices.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody likes that type of texture. Plus you gotta be careful that you cool it down because that can be very hot as well.
Very
but
dangerous.
it's another option that you don't have to use or cut it up. You just throw it in there.
Right. Next thing we're gonna do, we have some corn. You can pick this up at a farmer's market. You can pick it up at Meijer, any grocery store around here. We're gonna peel all that silk off of it. Now I actually had somebody show me the other day. They take the whole ear of corn, put it in a microwave for about 5 minutes, and heat it up. Then they get it out and they cut the top off, and then they just squeeze the bottom, and that corn cob just slides right out of there. Never seen that before in my life until then, so I'm actually gonna start trying that. If it works for you, I mean, I was amazed by it, and I've seen a lot of stuff in my life. So
absolutely.
Yes, that's
because everybody
really likes
hates
silk.
these.
Yeah. Nobody likes silk at all. So try it at home. That's all I'm going to tell you. So peeling that off there. We're going to keep them in just little rounds. Just cutting straight through it. Now this will be the thing that takes the longest. So you don't want these to be super big, because if they are, it's just going to take you a really long time to cook. Everything else is going to get soft. So by the time they're done, everything's going to turn into a mush. So go through it, put it on there. Okay.
And that's the one that's actually going to be adding an extra carbohydrates there. Corn's the only one we're adding. That would be a little bit higher in that and higher in calories, but great nutrition, great source of actually your B vitamins.
Absolutely. Put some garlic on there. We have whole cloves of garlic. You can actually leave these as is and put them in there. That will steam and cook them the rest of the way. They'll get really soft. I like that because then I can take a whole garlic clove, cut it with a fork, add it with a little bit of tomato, a little bit of pepper, and eat it. I'm a big fan of garlic, so I like that myself. If you don't, you can always take them out, chop them up, even slice them. Really simple. It's not going to take a lot here because we just have the one foil pack. So just on top, spread it around.
Great flavor.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna add, actually, we put garlic in there. You could add onion powder and garlic powder. We're actually not adding onion in here today, just for a fact that some individuals don't like that onion kind of bite to it.
Sure.
I personally would love to add a little red onion in here, add some bite in there, but again, it's all about preference. So we'll just add a little bit here to add some flavoring. Nice thing about it, we're not adding any salt. We're using all the natural flavorings from the vegetables itself. But we will add a little bit of pepper in here as well. We're actually gonna add some Parmesan cheese on top of there, help give it a nice little extra flavor there. Like we mentioned, we don't add salt, so this is actually gonna add some of that salt flavoring there and just kind of melt some of that cheese on top of there.
It'll kind of bring it together too. It'll meld into everything. You know, I really like that salty flavor, so not adding any salt whatsoever, but using the Parmesan is a really great way to substitute that. So.
Absolutely. And then you can add some fresh herbs. Again, like I mentioned, I use this dish a lot at home. I go to my garden and see what's ever available. My favorite in here probably is gonna be the rosemary.
Sure.
A little bit hardier to cook with as well. Sometimes if you're using basil or fresh cilantro, things like that, it's not gonna go well by the end of the dish. It's kind of gonna get browned and you're not gonna get the flavors. But we also have some oregano in here.
That's oregano.
So you can actually add a combination of both in there if you'd like.
And you can actually keep them together, because like I said, this is encapsulated with more foil, so it's just going to steam. So when these cook, all that moisture is going to, get into the air. It's going to surround all the vegetables, and even though you're not actually going to be eating the rosemary, you're still going to get that flavor from the steam. So just straight on top is perfectly acceptable for this.
We're going to add a little bit of oil, just kind of bring it together. We're using an avocado oil today. Great in lower and saturated fats, very good in polyunsaturated fats. You can use a grapeseed oil as well. It has a very mild flavor to that. And you could use an olive oil at the same time. It doesn't take very much. You just need enough, because there's enough moisture in there. You just need enough of that fat in there to kind of incorporate all those flavors.
Absolutely. So just really simply, we're going to put, let me grab it here. 2 pieces of foil on top, seal it up, and it's going to go straight onto our grill. And while that's cooking, we'll go ahead and make our black bean salad.
Yeah, so we have a nice black bean salad. It is a cold salad. We're going to incorporate the black beans, which is a nice protein source for this. Gives a little bit different texture to some zucchini. We have some corn, we have cucumbers, peppers, tomato, onion, and then a lot of extra little flavors in there. But first we're going to start with kind of the marinade, the sauce of that.
Absolutely. We are using just a regular canola oil. Just going to put that into our dish here. A little bit of bite, we're using a red wine vinegar.
Works nice for a dressing. I shouldn't call it really a marinade. It's kind of a marinade dressing, kind of in between there too.
The garlic powder and cumin. Cumin's going to go really well with all of these vegetables. Pairs really nicely with garlic powder. We're using just a pinch of salt, nothing too intense. Maybe what, an eighth of a teaspoon, maybe?
Yeah, eighth of a teaspoon, which is just going to help incorporate all the flavors along with these vegetables that are naturally low in sodium, just to kind of get it a little bit extra, especially like the one we used previously for vegetable pack. We use cheese on there to add some of that. We're just going to physically add some of actual salt today.
So we're going to add corn to this. You can use frozen corn if you want.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine. But we are outside and we're grilling. So my personal opinion, there's nothing better than grilled corn. So what we're going to do is just take our ear, sit it right there on the hot spot. It's not going to take very long. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll roll it. We'll see it get a little bit of a char, and then we'll slice it right off the ear. So while that's going, we'll add the rest of our vegetables to our dish here.
It's going to add a depth of flavor there, getting some of that charcoal grilling flavor.
Just whisking it together real fast. So we showed you the one way to cut the pepper previously. This is another way to do it, another easy, clean way to do it. Take the knife, slide it in there, Just get it started, don't go all the way through. Roll it all the way across until you reach the other side. So it's still intact. You can see it's upside down, it's holding on. Take your thumb, stick it in there, get underneath all those seeds, and then just kind of pull it out. Again, all your seeds are still here, keeps it clean, and then you have a completely emptied pepper ready to go.
Absolutely.
Stuffed peppers,
Like,
foil packs, cold salads.
absolutely.
Very easy.
One of my favorites for stuffed peppers.
Okay, check that real quick. Very simple. We're just going to take it and cut right down the middle. Clean out the white part just a little bit, the pith here, the membrane. Slice it into strips. So now that those are into strips, we'll just go ahead and dice it.
You could use a yellow pepper, orange pepper, red pepper, green pepper. One thing you gotta keep in mind about the green pepper, they're not gonna be as sweet as the red, yellow, and orange. So depending on your complex of flavors that you would like, you could use any of those. Preference, I really like red peppers.
Oh yeah, very sweet, really a nice nice pepper
Nice
to use.
flavor.
Next thing we're gonna do, cutting up a red onion. We're going to cut straight through the root into 2 pieces, so it's all staying intact. We're just going to cut the top off real quick. Gives us something to peel all that top layer, that top surface layer off. Then we're going to go about 3/4 of the way in, not all the way through. So again, it still stays intact. There's nothing loose on it. Really easy to just slice right through one time and then dice it. Zucchini. Can do this a couple different ways. You can slice them really thin and dice it like you did with all of this, or you can get a vegetable peeler or a shredder, a box shredder. Those work really well too. And then just simply run it through.
Nice thing what Dugan's doing here is you're getting different styles of cutting them, but also is going to make a difference on how you bite into the mixture and how much of each vegetable you get as well.
Right. Just to keep things consistent, I'm going to do just a quick chop so that you don't have incredibly long zucchini noodles, but they'll be pretty consistent with the peppers and the onions in there.
Yep.
Cucumber, same thing. We'll just cut the ends off, slice it down the middle, because it's going to have all those seeds.
Yep.
And you can see here, the bigger that cucumber, the more seeds you're going to have, and the larger that the seeds are going to be themselves. So what you can do with that, you can get a spoon, you can scoop it all out if you want. An easier way that I do it, lay it on its side, cut it one more time, so that gives you kind of a triangular look, and then just take your knife, run it through there.
You're not going to want to include all those seeds in there because it's going to make it extra watery.
Oh yeah.
And the texture is not going to be there. You're not going to want to chew on those seeds, so you're going to want to take those out.
You can peel the cucumber, if you want to. You can leave the skin on it, perfectly fine as well. However you want, whatever your preference is. Yeah.
Nice thing about leaving the skins on these is you're keeping intact a lot of the nutrients, because most nutrients on a lot of fruits and vegetables are found right beneath that skin.
So we're just going to strip it real quick.
I like the idea of adding zucchini and cucumbers to this. Zucchini is going to have a different little bit flavor, where your cucumbers has a little bit more of a crisper flavor, making it feel like a cold salad, more crisp, nice on a hot, sunny day.
Absolutely. Then our last vegetable here, we're gonna add our Roma tomatoes. Again, we've used these in the past, really a meaty, nice tomato.
Yes.
We're just gonna cut the top off, clean out the inside, and then dice it up and add it to our cold black-eyed pea mixture. So we're just gonna chop it up.
And the colors of this, you got the purple from the red onions, you got the red from the tomatoes, the green from the zucchini and the cucumbers, and then we're going to add yellow from that corn, and it's going to be slightly charred. Nice mixture of colors there. We always like to say color your plate as a dietitian because we know we're getting a lot of different nutrients there. We're really looking at those phytochemicals, which is a great way to help prevent cancer. If you're going through cancer, help with treatments, and hopefully a speedy, healthy recovery.
So we have all of our vegetables in there. We have a black-eyed pea. You can get these at the store. Really simple. Open up the can, put it in a colander, strainer of some kind, run it underwater. Make sure that that water underneath the colander is running clear. That gets all that sodium, that gets all that that packaging stuff off of it, and you're left with just this clean black-eyed pea. So we went ahead and did that. We're going to go ahead and add it into our dish here. And then the final element that we're waiting on is the corn. So we're going to toss it just a little bit to kind of start that process of letting all the vegetables and the peas kind of marry with that red wine vinegar. And then once that corn is completed, we'll add it in, and that will be a completed dish.
Absolutely.
So we've got a really nice char on our corn here. We're gonna go ahead and pull it off. A simple, another clean way that I like to do things here. With corn, especially when you're peeling it off of the ear itself. You've got your bowl. You also have a bowl with a flat base to it. What that's gonna do, fit inside there, and that flat part of your corn is going to sit right on top. You just take your knife, slide it through.
Everything stays inside the bowl, nice, clean. Because like most of us know, if we do this, you have corn everywhere otherwise.
Goes all over the place. So you're left with the corn itself in the bowl. Nothing to clean up around it. No issues whatsoever. Just kind of nice. You can let this cool off if you want in the refrigerator, 10 minutes or so, just to knock off that heat before adding it to the dish. Or if you're going to eat it right now, most of the ingredients are already cold, are pretty cold already. So we're just going to add it in, mix it up. And that salad is ready to go. Good thing to do, let this sit maybe an hour, maybe a little longer. Let the flavors marry, and then you've got your side dish ready to go.
Absolutely. You could actually make this as an easy, quick lunch idea. You make it the night before, it can stay in the fridge for a couple of days, and it's a nice, quick, easy meal. Like I said, you have your vegetables there, you have a protein there. You just need to pair it maybe with the fruit or low-fat dairy, and you have a complete meal for lunch.
Absolutely. So that's done. We can check our foil pack here, see if we're done. It's been about 15, 20 minutes. You can really smell the fresh herbs, especially when you open it up here.
Oh, absolutely. You're starting to see some of that steam escape, kind of, again, looking at those two heating elements, direct heat and that steam.
Apparently I sealed it a little too well.
Oh yeah, I smell that rosemary right away when you open that.
As you can see here, starting to get pretty soft. The vegetables are pretty pliable. Corn's nice and steamed through. It's cooked. Tomatoes are cooked. You got that Parmesan on there.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yes, absolutely. So what we're gonna do, pull off all of our herbs. And it's ready to go.
So here we have two, again, heart-healthy side dishes, lots of vegetables, great and lower calories, lower sodium, lower carbs, something that pairs easy with any kind of meat dish that you want to have.
Absolutely.
So we'll give them a try here.
Sure.
We'll let that cool off a little bit. Try some of the salad here. Try and get a little bite of everything in there. Lots of different textures. What actually hit me the most was right away a lot of that red wine vinegar, adding kind of a bite there to it, but also a little bit of a sweetness from everything else we have in there as well.
Yep. I like the black-eyed pea, nice and a smooth texture.
Yes.
Almost reminded me of almost like a refried bean, especially with that cumin. You know, you add that freshness of the corn, the peppers.
Yes.
Just a really nice.
I was gonna say, I think
nice
a lot
dish.
of that sweetness was that grilling, the charring, that corn brought out a lot of the extra sweetness from the corn that it naturally has there.
Absolutely.
Wonderful dish. So I'm gonna now try, or we're both gonna try this. Try and get a little bit of everything here if I can, but there's a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, there's a lot to choose from here. That worked.
Trying to get too many on here.
Very
Look at
hot.
that lovely color there. That's what I love about it. Different textures here.
Nice and cooked, not too soft. Still has some nice bite to it. Parmesan was really nice. You know, it added that saltiness that you need. Overall, I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, I really liked it. It's still a little bit warm yet. Especially be careful when you have these zucchini and yellow squash because you got a lot of juices there, very high in water content. But I love the different textures among them and different flavors. Again, adding great vegetables. Nice thing about this foil pack, you can put this off to the side once you're done, you throw it away, you don't have any dishes.
Absolutely.
So great heart-healthy side dishes. Thank you for joining us here on iHeart Cooking. We hope you enjoyed all these heart-healthy side dishes.
And for more heart-healthy recipes, visit reidhealth.org/iHeartCooking.
We'll see you next month.